Kate, 2021. I legit turned on this movie out of boredom, fully expecting to roll my eyes at its action sequences and to totally pan the thing, and I have to say, they got me. Well done, Mary Elizabeth Winstead and crew. Now, quick rundown. So this movie was basically Crank with a woman, or if you're a moviegoer with culture, it was an action-packed DOA with a woman lead. And it was fun. The premise is that a female assassin gets roofied with a radioactive substance and has less than a day to avenge her own murder and finish a contract for her friend/handler. Now for context, I watch a lot of action movies, and I mostly loathe ones starring female leads as hardcore assassins because the fight scenes are nearly always terrible. Some films like Gunpowder Milkshake are okay, bordering on terrible in scenes. Some like The Protégé are fine. Some like Ava are largely unbelievable, and I'm expecting the 355 to just be terrible. And up until this movie, Anna, starring Sasha Luss and directed by Luc Besson, was my go-to modern favorite for a movie where the female lead actually took damage. So there's a scene in Anna, which is sort of paralleled in a flashback here in Kate, where Anna's sent into a restaurant to assassinate somebody, but the gun is empty, and she has to fight her way out. It was well executed for the most part, with the very accommodating stuntman problem being present, but not obscene. But here, in Kate, Mary Elizabeth Winstead just gets the ever-loving hell kicked out of her, repeatedly. The restaurant fight scene is kind of bananas when at one point a dude grabs her hair, and she cuts her own hair and his fingers off to escape his grip. Then when she has to fight a villain's boyfriend, she actually loses after a very brutal fight, and man was it satisfying. See, a lot of movies want women to be all-powerful, independent womans that don't need no man without being willing to show that they can have weaknesses, and that some dudes are just stronger. It's the fake equality game where sure, we'll have a hyper-tough woman in a man's world, but she has so much plot armor that none of the fights look decent. No, not in Kate. To be fair, there was some parkour nonsense and two scenes where Kate was dodging way too many bullets. The desk at the end is absurd. But all in all, the fights were satisfying and the wins felt earned. The betrayal is sort of obvious, but the redemption with who she thinks is her killer is honest and interesting. I also appreciate the lack of copping out at the end. They gave Kate a purpose, let her fulfill it, and the movie didn't just leave sequel bait in our mouths. I liked this movie, and I went into it expecting to hate it, and hate it hard. And yet here we find ourselves. Even her betrayal but not betrayal by her handler was done in a fascinating way. As far as ratings go, sure, I didn't like a few scenes, and as such I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. But the more I've been talking about this movie with friends, the more it's growing on me, and I really liked it. I'll watch it again, and who knows, I may have to adjust that rating up to a solid 5, because for me, 5s are movies that I love even if they have some flaws. So, recommendation, watch Kate, it's fun. Cheers.